Hello investors. Today we will discuss a hot theme within the pharma sector. आपने सुना ही होगा, इस थीम का नाम है CDMO, Contract Development and Manufacturing Organization. So within that, we're going to discuss a very well-established famous company whose name is Laurus Labs. So why have we chosen Laurus Labs for a deep dive? Currently, its CDMO revenue is 28% of the total, and the generics, which is its business right from inception, is 72%. However, if you see over here, the ARV share of the generics business has gone down from 67 to 46% in the last 6 years. The non-ARV has gone up, but more importantly, the CDMO share has gone up from 13 to 28%, which is more than double in just a span of 5 to 6 years. Laurus Labs is currently strategically focused on expanding its CDMO business for significant future growth. So अब देखोगे काफ़ी सालों से ये ऑलरेडी फोकस एरिया रहा है. जैसे CDMO का जो CAGR है, Compounded Annual Growth Rate of Revenue, for the last 5 years from FY 20 to 25 has been 32%. And even last year they have grown at 42%. That's how the revenue mix has more than doubled. So this strategy revolves around several key areas and pipeline developments for getting molecules approved by the US FDA, which directly acts as a driver for the CDMO business growth. So small molecule CDMO market जो है वो structurally fast growing market हो गया है. सबसे पहले what is small molecule? So small molecule drugs are medications with a low molecular weight made up of chemicals created in a lab. Because they have a straightforward chemical structure, these drugs are relatively easy to make and are shelf stable. So small molecule drugs का ज़माना है, they are generally administered as a pill. So the global $80 billion small molecule CDMO sector itself is growing at 7%, and in the last 5 years also it has grown at 5%. Within India, the potential is to grow in excess of 14% CAGR over the next decade or so, which is much stronger as a demand compared to the global market. Laurus is well positioned over here to compete as an efficient and high quality one-stop solution provider from a clinical stage development to manufacturing at scale. Laurus Labs के कुछ vital information और data points देखते हैं. So it has touched a market cap of close to 45,000 crores. The revenue has crossed 5,000 crores in FY 25. It is a research-driven integrated pharmaceutical company with a robust presence across 4 core business portfolios. So a very well diversified business in the pharma space. It has 6 big partnerships, 237 patents which have got granted, 15 development and manufacturing sites, 5 R&D centers, and many other things to boast about. 68% of the revenue contribution is from exports, out of which 20% is from North America, 25% from Europe. It has 250 plus global customers which they serve worldwide, and 80 plus countries that they serve. So they have CDMO, generics API, active pharma ingredients, and FDF, biotech. These are the main verticals. How has been the journey? A quick snapshot. Founded in 2006, which is almost 20 years back, entered the API business, and to reduce the lumpiness and dependency on contracts on the West, entered the formulations and became a fully integrated API plus FDF plus R&D company. Entered the CDMO business about 5 years back and also has forayed into biotechnology within the CDMO business. So the generic API to begin with was focused on ARV treatment, which was for HIV and AIDS. The portfolio now includes oncology, steroids, hormones, and cardiovascular APIs in addition to HIV now. And it is supplying to the top generic pharma manufacturing companies in the world. The generics FDF business focuses on oral solid formulations. CDMO has been a customized synthesis involved in research, manufacturing, and sale of steroids, hormones, and other nutraceuticals. Provides drug development as well, not only in human health, but to global pharma, crop science, animal health, specialty ingredients, as well as biotech firms. The business model, again, a quick snapshot. CDMO synthesis and biotech. CDMO has contributed 1374 crores in the revenue last year. Biotechnology is 160 crores. Cell therapy, gene therapy is included within biotechnology, which has these verticals as supplies. Generic API and FDF, ARV business, which is its first business since last 20 years, still contributes a bulk of its revenue, which is 2400 crores. But the formulation business of non-ARV types, which would include diabetic, asthma, gastrointestinal, oncology, has come up to a robust 1582 crores. So, where does a CDMO company make impact? This slide is the starting point for that. So, drug discovery first happens within a lab, then there is a preclinical testing, then there are clinical trials which take a lot of time, many years to be precise. There are phases here where you start with a limited number of patients for the checking the side effects and having an ideal dosage. Then the number of patients increases and it keeps on going up till phase 3. After you have crossed all these hurdles, then there's a regulatory approval and then you get a patent, post which you can go for commercialization. So what is CDMO? CDMO helps other pharma companies make medicines. So this is a new kind of collaboration which has started over the last decade mainly. So they don't sell their own branded drugs, the CDMO companies. Instead, they help in developing and then manufacture or do the bulk of the manufacturing of these drugs for their clients. Big pharma companies now outsource more work to these CDMOs to focus on R&D, sales and brand building, which cuts the costs, saves time and adds the flexibility. Post-COVID and geopolitical issues have forced the pharma companies to diversify their manufacturing base. Concentration nahi chahiye logon ko. At one place, one type, one manufacturing. Also, the new age drugs are harder to make, which does not help that the pharma companies want to invest billions in the new tech to simply manufacture. So they partner with the CDMO companies. The good part for CDMO companies due to all this background is often these contracts that they receive from the big pharma are long term and sticky, which means when a company starts using a CDMO, they rarely change it. This gives the CDMOs reliable and recurring revenues, and the reason why about 5 years back, Laurus Labs has done so much focus on participating in the CDMO business globally. There is an entry barrier for competition because only the proven manufacturers of a certain quality will get clients. There is a good exit barrier for the innovator because once the drug is approved globally, the CDMO name can't be changed. So it will take about 18 months to re-register the drug. So nobody wants to do that. Also, it's a lumpy and volatile business, regulated industry by US FDA, and there is a patent dependency. So Laurus Labs की CDMO landscape understand करते हैं. It has a wide project pipeline. It has over 110 active projects where 90 are in human health, but more than 20 are now in animal and crop protection. That shows the diversified participation. Many of these are in mid to late stage new chemical entity NC deliveries, which is good news. Small molecule CDMO, which is the in thing, continues to dominate the global drug approvals, accounting for 70% of the new therapies. Laurus is targeting a broader project funnel with early stage R&D focus to onboard more innovative stage clients. The good part is Laurus can participate from the clinical to the finished stage. Focus on complex APIs there because as we all know, since 2006, they were already into the APIs, FDFs, and hence over there, they have increased the span to go beyond the HIV to oncology and steroids as we have seen earlier. And animal health and crop protection is the new thing which is going to add a lot to the revenue in the next few years as we will see later. CDMO custom synthesis. So majority revenues अभी तो human health से आ रहे हैं, but animal health will be driving a sharp revenue jump in FY26 and peaking in FY27, supported by a new partnership which will bring additional income. Laurus has also commercialized its crop science facility in Q4 25. मतलब पिछले कुछ महीनों में it is up and running. It has already begun partner deliveries and expects more in FY26. With new projects under evaluation, clearer visibility on growth is expected over the next few months. Multiple signings have also reached a late phase and a commercial phase programs are likely to follow. यहाँ पे आप CDMO के revenues देखोगे तो आपको एक different दिखेगा. 2167 crores in FY23, then a drop in 922, and then again the good growth of 40+% as we saw. This reason was they got a big order of 1400 crores for this particular intermediate APIs, primarily for Pfizer company, which is a global pharma giant and a one-off event. So अगर आप इसको निकालते हो 2167 से 1400 करोड़ को, then even FY24 over 23 there's a good 20+% growth, and then a 40+% growth of 25 over 24 for the CDMO business. So overall seems to be the engine has got hot and we're going to have a good speed to this particular business. CDMO में भी एक expansion focus है, जैसे APIs में भी है, which was the main business. So Laurus Labs emphasizes its backward integration capabilities and continuous investments in capacity expansion. There are new manufacturing blocks, large-scale fermentation facilities to support the growing demand for CDMO services. This will help add larger volumes and cater to bigger pharma companies. 2025 में key developments क्या थे? In addition to the existing facility at R&D facility at Hyderabad, they have now opened a 2 lakh square feet small molecule R&D facility at IKP Knowledge Park with advanced capabilities in flow chemistry, high potent API development, and a continuous manufacturing. The CDMO capacity expansion for manufacturing has got completed across multiple sites, along with new CDMO R&D, AHMB3 and biopilot facility. The crop science facility has already commenced operations in Q4. So outlook for this year and beyond: scaling a global CDMO footprint, continuous capacity expansion, technology investment, and AI-driven process optimization, which is the key. This is a snapshot of the new state-of-the-art R&D facility and manufacturing. यहाँ पे CDMO business की आप एक rocket जैसी growth देख सकते हो, project कर सकते हो. Also, the good part is the facility is expected to create employment opportunities for over 800 professionals in the next 2 years. Next, let's look at the main revenues so far. Generics API business. दोस्तों API क्या होता है? एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स. यानी आप जो क्रोसिन टैबलेट लेते हो उसमें जो पैरासीटामोल होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड API. तो पैरासीटामोल actually works in bringing down your fever or the body temperature. That's why it's called the active pharmaceutical ingredient. And it works across key therapeutic areas like ARVs, cardiovascular and CNS. In FY25, this division had some softness, so थोड़ी growth slow थी, primarily because the company also prioritized capacity allocation into more attractive business opportunities, some lower volume offtakes by customers, and some pricing erosion within the ARV and oncology baskets. However, the planned capacity expansions are there, strong order book which is expected to turn into sales this year onwards, and strategic strengthening partnership with CMOs to diversify the API portfolio. So over here, they do not want to just rest on their own manufacturing capabilities. Revenues, as you can see, for the API has been pretty static, no growth at all. We have seen the reasons over here. But FDF has been showing very good growth, which we'll cover in the next slide. So what is FDF? Final dosage form. मतलब simple है, आप जो भी medicine ले रहे हो उसका final form क्या है, whether it is a tablet, capsule, injection, liquid, etc. That is called a FDF. So generics को FDF एक तरीका है. It is again across the similar therapeutic areas, but it includes anti-infectives as well. So Laurus is again expanding its FDF offerings to include more complex generics. Growth is anticipated backed by ramp up in the non-ARV portfolio over here, especially with approvals coming within the North American market. So FY25 में FDF में क्या key developments है? There have been regulatory filings and approvals for 7 product dossiers. Then order intake and CMO engagements, contract manufacturing engagements, which are supposed to get active by the end of this calendar year. KRK Pharma joint venture है जहाँ पे कंपनी ने 110 करोड़ इन्वेस्ट किया है. And then of course there is a capacity optimization to reallocate lines and create more capacity outside. Biotech का business review करते हैं, which is currently a small part of the revenue, but we see a total investment of 250 crores already to double the fermentation capacity in the next 12 months. This will facilitate Laurus to serve large module CDMO market. So while there is a focus on the small module, large module भी इनके certainly radar पे है. This division focuses on enzyme engineering, fermentation based solutions and biologic CDMO services. And यहाँ पे भी expanding their customer pipeline, securing new collaborations in enzyme engineering, small molecule biologics and fermentation based API projects. So all this is being driven through its subsidiary, which is called Laurus Bio. So it has strengthened its strategic partnerships with 120 crores equity infusion in another company to scale its fermentation facilities. Already achieved 1.5x expansion in the client base just in 1 year, and with a pipeline of 60 active R&D projects. Biotech के यहाँ पे और कोई details है, especially focused on the personalized cancer treatment that uses patients' own immune cells, reprograms them in a lab and sends them into the body to hunt and destroy the bad cancer cells. So यहाँ पे they have a partnership with ImmunoAct, which is backed by technology from IIT Bombay, which was launched in 2023 for treatment of certain blood cancers. So biotech का revenue थोड़ा stagnant रहा है, mainly due to certain logistics and delivery issues. So it was due to the international markets, and they have also discontinued certain lower profitability business, which augurs well for the overall margins. A quick snapshot of the robust network that they have. R&D centers, as we spoke, the new one at Hyderabad, microbial fermentation centers, 2 labs at Bangalore, cell and gene therapy, 2 facilities in Mumbai, and now gene therapy in Hyderabad, and then small molecules, various manufacturing units at Vizag. Let's look at the P&L. Financials matter finally for all the business deep dive that we do. So first of all, if you see, the operating margin of this company was ranging between 16 to 20% pre-COVID. Suddenly here it bounced to 30 plus, and then it has been steadily going down. It has come back to regular levels in FY24, and as they focus on more profitable business, they are back to 19%, and we can expect this margin to slightly grow and be within or above the pre-COVID normal range. The gross profit margins through all this have been maintained at a 55% level, and with growth in CDMO, the margins are likely to improve further. Heavy capex has happened. So if you see, around the COVID times, they were just at 1600 crores of capex in the balance sheet, that is fixed assets. From that, they have jumped to 4123. So that's about 2.6, 2.7x. The CWIP had gone up during these years, which is now coming down as more capitalization has happened. So the net fixed assets have been a mix of R&D and manufacturing capability investments. There are other assets and liabilities on the balance sheets, which are investments in other JVs, other companies, subsidiaries. The increase in working capital loans obviously happens in such an expansion phase to support several CDMO project deliveries involving longer lead time. इसका इफेक्ट आप वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल पे भी देखोगे. So an important thing for a company which has big investments in manufacturing, one key ratio is the asset turnover ratio. So यहाँ पे आप ग्राफ में देखोगे, so we have drawn a line at 1.1x. This used to be, can be called an average pre-23 and post-23. यहाँ पे they had touched a top of 1.5x. Now, as their investments have gone up in the last couple of financial years, it had dropped to 0.77, and now it is again going up. And we expect that as they have a more potential to grow in CDMO and formulation, these two being the growth drivers, they'll surely cross 1 and maybe cross 1.1x soon. Since the asset turnover projected to return to normalized levels over the next 2 years by the management. As we said, working capital days have been increasing. The explanation is they are handling very long, complex projects in CDMO. The order to delivery cycle is much longer compared to the generic programs that were running pre-CDMO focus. So some of the working capital is stuck in these. That is one reason. Second reason is sales of formulation increases in US and Canada, and the working capital is also going up because of longer lead times in logistics, as we covered earlier. Promoter holding. The good news is that the promoter holding has again gone up a bit in the last couple of quarters. So Mr. Satyanarayan Chava brought another 0.29% stake in Q3 FY25, which is 15.7 lakh shares. Mr. Venkatalakshman Rao, who is a whole-time director and heads the quality function, also bought some stake. So this generally happens when the top management is expecting some real booming growth in the years to come and in the valuations of the company. A similar incident had happened in 1920, and after that we had seen the kind of margins and the trajectory in FY21, 22, 23, which was an all-time high. So let's summarize about Laurus Labs after all the deep dive that we did. So CDMO, and various types of CDMO, they are going all out, leaving no stone unturned, whether it is human health, animal health, crop protection, small molecules, large molecules. Then financials में हमने already देखा है कि there are lot of facilities which will come up, improve their ratios, margin expansion likely to happen. EBITDA margin can go up to 25% is what the management says, and EPS we expect to show a strong growth in the next couple of years backed by all this. Please note that we are invested in this company for quite some time. So the standard disclaimer, please do not treat it as an investment advice. This is for your education, understanding, and a deep research on Laurus Labs, which you expect to do well in the years to come. That's from us. Please, if you like the video, do push the like icon and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.